I think we can finish from number 2 to number 4 lah, means the last question lor. Okay, so when you watch this video, make sure you jot down the answer in your workbook also lah. So start from number 2. Actually, if not mistaken, I already marked for you some of the question, but never mind. I haven't explained now. Okay, so figure 2.1 shows part of the structures in human lung. So this part should be the bronchiole, and then this part, structure V, is alveolus, but more than one. So this one is alveoli lah. Okay, and then this one is the blood capillaries. Okay, this one is the gaseous exchange part lah. Okay, identify structure V. You see the structure questions if they give you a diagram lah, they will usually ask you to name one of the structure in the diagram. So you have to really know all the structures, the name of the structures and the function of the structures for the diagrams for bio. Okay, so this one is alveoli, and then after that, structure V, write down first alveoli is part of the gas exchange occurs in the lungs. Okay, they already give you the function. Describe the movement of oxygen molecules from alveoli into the blood. Okay, the movement you can relate to the type of movement. Diffusion Diffusion is always from the higher concentration part region to the lower concentration region So in this case, from the alveoli is the higher concentration one This one is the lower concentration one. So first point is the oxygen gas first. Oxygen molecules dissolve in the moist lining of the alveoli. Moist lining is the keyword lah. And then dissolve. And then after that, second point. Diffusion of oxygen molecules from the alveoli to the blood capillaries. Across the, because diffusion when you relate back to chapter 3.1 it's always across the partially permeable membrane So permeable membrane. And then after that, diffusion is always down the concentration gradient or you can say from higher concentration region to a lower concentration region. So depends on which one you want to write lah. Okay, so for this one, first point is at here. This one is your first mark lah. And then your second mark is diffusion from where to where. Second mark. And then across partially permeable membrane. Third mark. And then I think I should change color because this color is quite dark. Let's use green lah. Okay, so first mark, second mark, and then third mark is over here. Fourth mark. To choose one. Okay, so the keywords that you must write lah. First point is dissolve and a moist lining, and after that diffusion, and then from where to where, from alveoli to blood capillaries, and then after that across partially permeable membrane, and then down the concentration gradient or from region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Okay, so this is all for B, and then after that let's move on to C. Describe in detail how structure V here is still alveoli adapted for the efficient gaseous exchange. So this one they are talking about the adaptation of alveoli. This one you have 4 points though. You can say for 4 points, and after that here they ask for 5 marks ma. So you see you have to explain for which one. Okay, this one is adapted and then efficient gaseous exchange. Okay, so let's start to write okay. This one you can say that they have thin walls, moist surface, good ventilation, and then they have this one you can say they have numerous in number because they have many alveoli. And then after that, last thing you can say that they are surrounded by network of capillaries. This one blood capillaries. Okay, so these are the points that you can write lah. So to answer the question according to these 5 points only lor. So okay, just write that if you're not sure that if it's alveoli, you can straight away write structure V lor. And then present in numerous numbers to provide large surface area and then after that you can say that the walls of structure V, or I straight right alveoli is very thin, and then you can add lor, which is 1 cell thick. To reduce, not to reduce, so that the distance of diffusion is small. And then after that, third point, you can say V has moist surface lor. And then and has good ventilation. With air, okay, so moist surface is to which allows oxygen molecules to diffuse easily. Good ventilation with air is to maintain the diffusion gradient. And then lastly, we can talk about the network of capillaries. No, we is also surrounded by network of capillaries to allow faster diffusion. Okay, so keyword present in numerous number, and then walls very thin lah, and then if you can say 1 cell thick is better lah, and then after that moist surface, good ventilation with air, and then surrounded by network of capillaries. Okay, these are the 5 points, but if you're not sure whether which 5 marks they are actually giving, so you write the explanation down also. So explanation, the marks for explanation I use blue lah. So this one is to provide large surface area, and then for thin walls 1 cell thick, and then distance of diffusion small. Moist surface is allows them the oxygen molecules, the gas molecules to diffuse easily lor. Good ventilation of with air is to maintain the diffusion gradient. Surrounded by network of capillaries, allow faster diffusion. Or you can add one more lah. Maintain high concentration gradient. So this is all for C. Let's move on to D. Okay, in human respiratory system, the rib cage plays an important role to protect internal organs from any physical damage. The movements of ribs also allows efficient breathing. State two sets of muscles that controls the movement of ribs. So, if not mistaken, I think you answered it with the movement of the muscles. But this one, they are not asking for the movement of the muscles. They just ask you to state the name of the two sets of muscles. So this one is actually very easy lah. It's actually just intercostal muscle, and external intercostal muscle. And then from here, you get 1 mark, 2 mark. So, okay, this is all for this page. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, atmospheric air is drawn into human lungs during inspiration process. Using the sets of muscles stated in 2D, describe the mechanism of inspiration. Okay, this one mechanism of inspiration, inhalation lah. So when breathing in, what happens? So this one is actually very easy lah when you refer back to the notes. Okay, you can actually straight away start from the two sets of muscle first. So during inhalation, breathing in means the air is actually drawn into our lungs lo. So what happened? The external intercostal muscle contracts. This one S, because not only one muscle. And then while the internal intercostal muscles relax. This one S. And then after that, you can talk about the diaphragm lo. The muscles they contract and then the other relax. This causes the rib cage to move upwards and outwards. So rib cage moves up and out. And then at the same time, diaphragm contracts and flattens. Okay, actually these 2 points you can change the sequence lah. And then after that, after rib cage move upwards and outwards, this means that the volume of thoracic cavity, or you can write thorax, or easier terms, chest cavity increases lo. When the volume increase, pressure will decrease lo. So pressure of or in thorax or chest cavity decreases. And then last point, you can see air is drawn in to the lungs. Okay, so 7 marks. Where are the marks? 1 mark, 2 mark, and then 3 mark, 4 mark, 5 mark, 6 mark, 7 marks. Okay, the points that you must write. External intercostal muscle, must write the full name, what they do, contract. Internal intercostal muscle, relax. Rib cage moves upwards and outwards. Diaphragm contracts, flattens. Volume increases, pressure decreases, and then air is drawn in to the lungs. So this is all for 19 marks for the gaseous exchange part and the ventilation. This one is the inspiration, inhalation. If exhalation is just okay, what if the question is asking exhalation? So this one is just the opposite of all the points though. So this one I write here, if exhalation first point, external intercostal muscle relax, and then internal intercostal muscle contract. Diaphragm, what happened to diaphragm? Relaxes and becomes dome shape. And then after that, rib cage moves down and in. And then after that, volume of chest cavity decreases. When volume decreases, the pressure will move the other way, increase low. So pressure of chest cavity increase. Last point, air is forced out. So this is what you have to write, the 7 points for exhalation or expiration. Okay, so that's all for number 2. Let's look at number 3. The pressure in the lungs is altered by the level of physical activities carried out. So this one they already show in the graph though. For the time of exercise is the x-axis, pressure of lungs is the y-axis. Figure 3.1 shows, okay, this one is before and during the start of the vigorous exercise. Okay, pressure in the lungs. So decrease and then increase, decrease, increase. Notice that the depth of the breathing is increasing after the students start the vigorous activity. So okay, use the information in figure 3.1. Calculate the breathing rate before he started exercise. Okay, this one, let's see how to count. One breathing is when the pressure of the lungs, okay, we do like that. One breath, one, yeah, means that inhalation and exhalation So when inhalation pressure increases, and then after that the pressure decrease back. So one breath is actually from here to here. So you have to write one breath, how many minutes, how many seconds here. So this one breath per minute 60 seconds. This one 11 minus 3, you get 8 seconds. And then after that, breathing rate. Per minute 1 minute equals to 60 seconds. So when we find the breathing rate is how many breaths per minute, but we don't know so we use 60 seconds to divide by the 8 seconds, so that we can count how many times did the student breathe So this one 60 divided by 8, when you press calculator you will get 7.5. So 7.5 we round it up because we can't breathe for half times so we round it up to 8 times. So remember to use the breathing the unit for the breathing rate, breaths per minute. So this one is just 2 marks. So 1 mark is for here, and you got the 8 seconds. Second mark is the final answer, 8 breaths per second. Okay, that's why they ask you to show your working. Okay, for B, describe how the pattern of the graph changes while the student starts to exercise compared to the pattern of the graph before he exercises. So this one you see this one actually can see from the depth So this one is from like that and then this one is, notice that this one is actually the depth of the degree of the pressure increasing or decreasing This one the depth of breathing is increased compared to before exercise. And then after that, notice that this one before exercise the student took 8 seconds to breathe 1 time, and then after that, after they start from 11 to 17, so this one actually 6 seconds only, this one is 8 seconds. Notice that the breathing actually rate of breathing increase they breathe faster already the student. So this one you have to write 3 points. You write about the first point you write about the this one before exercise, how was the breathing rate, and then after that, after they start the exercise, how was the breathing rate, and then after that, what you notice from the graph. So this one slower breathing rate before exercise starts. Okay, this one to make it a full sentence the student had and after that, when the student starts exercising, the breathing rate, the breathing becomes faster and deeper. the pressure in the lungs increase when exercise starts. Okay, and then after that, C1. Oh, this one first. Slower before exercise starts. And then second point is start exercising faster and deeper. And then after that, pressure increase. So this one is your first mark, second mark, third mark lah. Okay. C1. Name the chemical process carried out by the cells that release carbon dioxide as waste product. This one is the process ma. This one is related to chapter 12 already. So this one is actually respiration. Okay. So I think we should continue the last page during our class. Okay, so Roman 2. Name a chemical indicator used to test the presence of carbon dioxide. So for carbon dioxide gas test, this one is, you can use this for bio and chemistry also lah. So this one normally we'll use lime water, and then they ask for state the positive results of the test if carbon dioxide is present. So okay, what are the observation? What is the observation? Okay, first things first, you write down first lime water. And then after that, the positive results. Lime water turns, you can say cloudy or milky or chalky. So first mark is at here. And then second mark, choose one from the cloudy, milky and chalky. Roman 3. Carbon dioxide is transported into blood towards the heart to be removed from the lungs. State the component of the blood where most carbon dioxide is transported in. Okay, this one is actually blood plasma. Okay, D. Carbon dioxide diffuses across blood capillaries into alveoli to be expelled from the body. Describe in detail the mechanism of exhalation. Okay, this one just now already explained, but never mind, we can write again. So this one day 1. Okay, so this one diaphragm. Relaxes and becomes dome shaped. External intercostal muscle. Relax 係啊 while the internal intercostal muscle contract And then after that, volume of chest cavity or thorax decreases, pressure of chest cavity or thorax increases. Air is drawn out of the body. So the marks are diaphragm relaxes and becomes dome shape, and then external intercostal muscle relax, internal intercostal muscles contract. Ayo, now mind. And after that, volume, pressure. Volume decrease, pressure increase. Air is drawn out of the body. So first mark, second mark, third mark, fourth, fifth, and seventh. Wait. First mark, second mark, third mark, fourth mark. Okay, we forgot to add one. The rib cage. Rib cage moves down and in. So 7 marks here. Okay. E. How vigorous exercise affects pH value of blood? This one actually in the notes also during exercise, you write like that. What happens during exercise? Concentration of carbon dioxide increase because the respiration rate increase means more carbon dioxide is produced to, and then they also produce more energy for the muscles Okay, if the concentration of carbon dioxide increase, means the blood is becoming more and more acidic because carbon dioxide is acidic So this one, blood pH decrease. And then this one will be actually detected by brain So okay, this one is like that because their outcome is the pH value So this one detected by brain, and then this one, since the question they only want pH, so it's just the first point but never mind because we are revising so we continue the points first. Detected by the brain, the rate and depth of breathing increase also because this is to deliver more oxygen to muscle cell. And then to keep up with the energy demand. Okay, this one the first point I write only the concentration of carbon dioxide increase, and then blood pH level decrease. And then look at here, they need 4 marks and then how you have to explain more why the concentration of carbon dioxide will increase? Because the rate of respiration increase lor, because they wanted to produce more energy for the muscle cell ma. So this one is the reason. Okay, and then after that, 1 point, here got 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark. What about the 4th mark? You can talk about how does the carbon dioxide actually decrease the blood pH, because the carbon dioxide molecules they will dissolve in the blood fluid, and then they will form this kind of acid called carbonic acid. That's why the blood becomes more acidic, and then the blood pH decrease. So this one, let's write down the answer. Because their outcome is pH value ma, so we write down the pH value first. pH value of blood decreases. And then after that, this is because rate of respiration increases to generate or produce or provide more energy for muscle cells. And then after that, concentration of carbon dioxide, this one you write full form, increases. And then after that, carbon dioxide dissolves in body fluid to form carbonic acid. Okay, so 4 marks. First mark, pH decreases. Second mark, because rate of respiration increases. And then this makes the concentration of CO2 increases. And then after that, the carbon dioxide dissolve in the body fluid, means the blood lah to form carbonic acid is the keyword for the 4th point. So first mark, second mark, third mark, and 4th mark. Okay, so that's all for number 3. So let's move on to number 4. Okay, number 4 is the last part of the chapter actually. Last question of this chapter also. Figure 4.1 shows some ciliated cells and goblet cells found on the lining of bronchi. Describe the role of ciliated cells and goblet cells in human respiratory systems. Okay, role means we have to write the function lah. Okay, goblet cell is this one. Goblet cell is actually the one that produce the mucus. And then after that, this kind of mucus they will trap the bacteria, dust, and particles lah. And then ciliated cells, they have this cilia to actually beat and push away the mucus so that the mucus can be removed lah. Okay, this one we write from the A first. So ciliated cells, we write about the cilia, because the cilia is the one that actually doing everything ma. So cilia beat regularly. To not to and push mucus up the passages towards the nose and throat to be removed. Okay, goblet cells. Goblet cells produce mucus. That traps particles, pathogens, and dust. So 2 marks. So this one, the first mark here should be beat regularly. Second mark is from this one is your first mark. Second mark is the whole thing. And then for goblet cells, produce mucus. And then this mucus, what they do? They trap particles, pathogens, or bacteria, and dust. So this one is the final mark for the question. So the keywords: beat regularly, and then push to be removed, and then produce mucus, traps. What they trap? They trap 3 types of things, particles, bacteria or pathogens, and dust. Okay, so that's all for this chapter. So see you next time.